Viewers, welcome to the Personal Injury Law Show. This show that talks about anything to do with personal injuries in Victoria. We talk about transport accidents, work accidents, slips and falls, medical negligence. But tonight, viewers, we're going to be talking about the education system. My name's Tony Carbone, personal injury lawyer of over 25 years experience. With me tonight I've got Alice O'Kane. Good evening, Alice.
Good evening, Tony. How are you, viewers?
And Maria D'Amato. Good evening, Maria.
Good evening, Tony.
Now,
Alice.
Maria.
Our guest tonight, Maria D'Amato, is an ex-teacher, but her qualifications are as follows. Bachelor of Arts Honours, Melbourne University. Graduate Diploma of Education. Cambridge Certificate in English, Language Teaching Adults. Master of Communication, RMIT University. What do you do day to day, Maria?
Okay, day to day, well, Learning with Distinction is a learning centre, and our goal is to maximise our students' potential in an engaging and supportive environment. We're committed to lifelong learning, which is why our clientele come from primary and secondary right through to tertiary and adult learners. Our services range from tutoring and mentoring in all subjects, including tertiary pathways counselling. We have foreign language classes. We also hold English classes for non-native speakers, and we service the business community with document translation services. However, our tuition service is the core of our business.
Okay. Just on that, Alice, it sounds to me that what Maria's business is these days is to assist students over and above what they get at school.
That's right. It's a very impressive resume you've got there, and it sounds like your tutoring centre helps a lot of people across the board, and you've got a lot of interest. But it's really important because a lot of students do have issues at school, and it's good to know that there's people out there who can help.
Well, the reason why we got Maria on tonight, viewers, is because recently the Gonski report came out. It's a report based on a national survey which deals with the public's concerns about our teaching standards in this country. Now, 92% of Australians believe that our 15-year-olds aren't getting proper education. On just that point, Alice, what do you...
I think this report's a real concern, not only for the state but also for the country in general. It's clear that we're having a few issues with our secondary system. There's a lot of tensions between the sector, the public sector, and also the Catholic schools as well. The funding's really inconsistent, and a few things that the report picks up on deals with that sort of issue, and it also deals with the standard of education as I understand it.
Maria, you've looked into this report. What are the things that come out of the report from your perspective?
Well, as Alice has mentioned, the Gonski report is quite lengthy, but my interpretation of it is that there are two main features. Firstly, to implement a more streamlined and equitable funding strategy across the government, Catholic and private education systems. And secondly, to improve overall literacy and numeracy standards by improving holistically the education sector.
Maria, at the moment, do you know what the figures are in terms of where we stand with the rest of the world in terms of literacy and maths, for example?
Okay, so recent data that has been bandied around the news media is that Australia's literacy standard was once rated or ranked at 2 in the OECD. It's now declined to 6. And in terms of mathematical numeracy, that's declined to a 12th ranking.
It's pretty alarming, isn't it, Alice?
That is alarming. It's a bit scary to know that our standards are slipping rather than improving over time.
Can we go to a bit of a clip based on this Gonski report, and then we'll come back and just talk about some of the things that come out of it?
The Gonski report has found current funding arrangements are inconsistent and illogical.
Importantly, the report says that differences in educational outcomes must not be the result of differences in wealth, income, power or possessions.
The Gonski report is the first serious review of the way schools are funded in Australia in almost 40 years.
It's about time government stopped considering funding public schools properly as a cost and started considering it an investment.
Alice, what did you take out of that?
Look, I think that this is a clear reflection of what Maria was saying earlier, and it seems that the Gonski report was really preoccupied with improving the standard on a general basis of education, and also looking at funding in particular for schools, which appears to be very haphazard and very inconsistent.
Maria, one of the big issues is they say that funding should be based on numbers. In the public system, there seems to be a lot of students per class. Is that one of the issues?
Well, I think underinvestment in education, particularly within the government-funded schools, where class sizes have ballooned, has been an issue. But there are also a number of factors why we have seen a decline in literacy rates. And I mean, we could add to that it's become more difficult to retain experienced teachers because of inadequate salaries. And what you then have is a situation where other teachers need to step in and teach subjects that are not in their area of expertise. And just on that point, the Australian Education Union Victorian branch each year conducts a survey of new teachers, and those statistics were released in late May. And one of the alarming factors that came out of that is that almost a third of new teachers do not expect to remain in the government system longer than 5 years.
That's tragic, isn't it?
It is
Absolutely.
tragic. It's just
Alice,
shocking.
one of the discussions I had with Maria before the show was that people in the public system, that is teachers in the public system, have to apply for their job every year.
Yeah, I find this astounding, Tony. This is something that I didn't know, and I have a few friends and relatives in the teaching system, both in public and private schools, but I didn't realise that in public system you do essentially go for your job each year. But Maria, do you also notice with your tutoring centre, with the students that you teach, do you find that the standard is slipping, say, for example, from 5 years ago?
I think that it really depends on, a number of factors. There's no simplistic response in any of this, and perhaps, I guess, depending on the student's background as well, not just academically, but also family background and their schooling, yes, there has been a notable decline that I've noticed, particularly in literacy. But again, there are other issues at play, and I think we'll probably be discussing that a little bit.
We've got to go to a
later on.
sponsors break, so viewers stay tuned, because after the break we're going to be going to a case study where a mother and daughter sue a school for academic failure. So please stay tuned.